Oh my goodness. All right, I'm here. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry to my regulars. I love you guys. I was just running around. Literally, I FaceTimed with my girlfriend before she went to bed. She's in New York, and then my dishwasher literally just stopped at the same time. Then I had to use the bathroom, and I wanted to get a drink, but I was like, it's already 6 past 6:30 my time, so let me just pop it on. I'll just do my dishes later. I'll take them out, but I do want to run and get a Coke. So let me see who's here. Hello, Kira, Shira, Chris. How is everyone? I'll read all of this, but yeah, I definitely want to talk about um, X-Men '97 because this show is so good. I never watched the original, so this is my foray into it. So if you guys are still going to be on for like 30 minutes, we could talk about the series, the episode. Hopefully, you're all caught up. Just give me 1 second. I just need to run to get a drink. I'm really thirsty. All right, I am back. What is my drink? Little baby Diet Coke. Okay. Shira says she doesn't know why she never sees the notifications. I wouldn't have known unless I opened. It's all right. Maybe you just don't have them on, or maybe YouTube is just being an idiot. But I say this like a broken record every time I come on that I promise I'm going to be better and schedule something, and I never do it. So that's on me. I'm an idiot. Curious though, how is my audio sound? Because usually when I live stream, I haven't used my Yeti in a while. I've been using this mic that I use for my videos, and the levels in OBS usually look fine, but whenever I go to watch it back, it sounds low. Chris said was just watching '97, The Roommate. Oh, did you watch it before or after my reaction to it? Or have you watched my reaction yet, Chris? Have you watched? Kira said, tell him there will be a quiz. He has to pay. Hmm. Shira also said, all right, really like Storm's evolution from this original costume to the mohawk leather one. The silver one from the gym late 90s was never my favorite. She looked badass. She's so good. That soda is so small. Yeah. It's one of those. It looks like how when Shaq holds a regular soda, but I try not to drink a lot, and I don't know. Diet Coke isn't any more or less healthy than regular Coke, I guess, but I don't like to drink a lot of soda, and these little cans are fine. It's like the perfect amount. Um, okay, Kira, the sound's fine. Thank you. All right, so all of my fun peeps are on. So everyone knows if you've been watching my reactions, I think I also say it a lot. I never watched the original X-Men, so this is my X-Men like animation, you know. I've watched the movies, those are different. I never read the comics. So everything I know about X-Men, I know from like hearing the movies, just general stuff, pop culture, and this. All right. So whenever you watch a show or a movie, typically, I think everyone does this. They latch on to a character, right? And usually you'll latch on to like the badass character or someone that represents you, that you see yourself in, or just someone who you think is just like your favorite character. From episode one of this season, Storm was it. That's why she's in my thumbnail. I really hope my thumbnail wasn't clickbait to kind of look like she's the reason that there's the one thing like it's her. Like it's not. She to me is the best character in this series. She's so freaking good. I mean, everyone is good. Like it's a well written show and it's really good. Um, but the problem that I have, it has to do with Storm, but more so the creators of the show. And since I have a few people on who you all seem like you're really, really big X-Men fans and you know stuff, when I'm watching this, I personally see it like Storm. I know she's technically not a god, like Thor is literally a god, but Storm seems like she's just a little bit under being a god. Like that type of strength. Like, what do they call it? S tier? Whatever her power. Like, she can control the weather. That's not something that's little. You know, like Captain America is a super soldier. He's really strong. Fine. He's not Storm. Like, it's a different level. Iron Man is not Storm. You know, Thor, a god, to me, is comparable to Storm, power set wise. So I'm watching and I'm like, okay, if, and now I'm just making shit up. If there's a fight and there's like, it's against not humans, but like mutants who are bad and they're not as powerful, she could literally freeze them to death. She could literally burn them to death. She could lightning strike them. Like, there's so much stuff she could do if she could control the weather. Like, freezing someone to death is crazy, right? So when I'm watching, I'm like, oh, this is cool. All this shit's gonna go down and it's gonna be dope because, Storm's gonna lead the way. And what do they do as creators? And if I'm using this term incorrectly, let me know. But I feel like Storm is being fridged this season. And it might be a bias because only after 9 episodes of one show, I'm like a Storm stan, and I want to see more of her, not less of her. And I know you need story, but she had her powers for one episode. She's the one who had to save Magneto and get hit with that blast, and she loses her powers. Then she doesn't have powers for like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For 7 episodes, she has no powers. She's not even with the team. And then she gets them back. And I'm like, yes, Storm is going to come to the rescue this episode. She's in the air. She gets hit in the back with something and she falls into the ocean. Like, what is that? And I'm fine if you tell me, listen, you're just being a stan. Like, I'm okay with that. But they could have had Wolverine loses powers or Scott loses powers. Like, why does it have to be Storm? And I was thinking about it. Is she too powerful to be there? Like, if she was at full strength, would there even be a problem? Or would she be all that powerful where she could just be like, this has gone on too long, I'm going to stop it. So I'm going to stop there and take a sip. All right. Shira says, if I try to go back and watch the original, which I will, it's really rough. Any of my friends who say it was great were watching it through rose-colored shades of childhood. Oh, that's interesting. I do want to check it out or at least watch a recap. Man of Recaps usually does really good ones, so hopefully he does one. Oh man, I'm talking so fast I can't breathe. Chris says, if it makes you feel better, when she still didn't have her powers in the comic, Loki kidnapped her and gave her a hammer, making her a new... Oh my god, are you serious? Is that only in the comic books? Did they do that in like animation? If they did it in a book, please tell me which book, which issue number. I'm buying that because that sounds dope. Kira said, Magneto's powers are insane too, since electricity is related to magnetism. He once redirected Storm's lightning through her. Oh, that I was going to talk about Magneto a little bit later, because this is definitely something we need to talk about. Magneto also seems he's like an S tier god. Like, Wolverine stabbed right through him, and Magneto was like, eh. Chris said it was a long way for her powers to return in the comics. 30 issues? Oh my god. If I would have read comic books as a kid, I feel like I would have loved Storm just as much as I do now. And I would have 30 issues is 30 weeks. No, 30 months, right? Aren't comics once a month? You gotta wait. Oh my god. More than 6 months for her to get her powers back? I mean, that's intriguing in the sense of something that's going that long. I feel like if it was in her comic, that's fine. If it was the X-Men comics, was she the only one to lose her powers? I don't know. Whew. Some are bi-monthly. Oh, okay. So I love this version of Storm. of course, it's again, it's the only one I know, but she's like the most level-headed. She seems like she's the smartest, the most knowledgeable. She seems like she's the most responsible with her power. And again, I'm only judging her off of what I'm seeing so far. Like, I know Scott and Jean Grey were like the original X-Men. That I think they were Xavier's first students, and that is something. But to me, Storm is a leader, and she, I think, should be leading the X-Men right behind Professor X, unless, of course, that's not what she wants. If she doesn't want that responsibility, that's fine. But dude, I just watched this and I'm like, Storm is that chick. Like, she is badass. And I mean, again, just my opinion. You're like, if you love Storm so much, why don't you marry her, right? She's so good. Chris said, X-Men Annual number 9, Storm Goddess of Thunder, 1985 is the issue. You can probably find it digitally. I will be looking that up because that sounds dope. I feel like I know retcon is usually when they like just change something. I think they should write a story where I don't know if it'd be a retcon. It could be something new where they just find out she is a god. Like Storm should be a god. And if you're tired of me talking about Storm, I'll move on. But this episode, this episode was crazy. I posted on Twitter and all my other socials something when I was watching the episode originally at the end, that huge moment where Wolverine stabs Magneto and Magneto is just like, you know what? I'm probably gonna kill you right now. I was like, is he gonna rip his bones out? And when you're watching it, that's what it looks like because you only get, I think, 4 frames. They do it in that like slow motion Ken Burns effect, and you don't really see any animation. But then I went back and I looked at it, and when you just like watch that portion and you slow it down, it actually looks like Magneto is pulling the adamantium, like liquefying it and pulling it through his skin. And I don't know this because I know it. I know it because I've read it on Twitter today. There's some kind of like Neanderthal Wolverine that happens when he loses adamantium. But that was crazy. Whew. Shira said, Storm is great. There have been stories about her past and why she has the blue eyes and white hair on her mother's side. They're related to decades of witches in Africa. All right. Does she have anything? And I don't ask this for the reasons many may think I'm asking this, but I know she dated T'Challa in the comics, but is she like from around Wakanda, or is she from somewhere else in Africa? Because whenever I hear Africa related to comics and Marvel, I only ever hear of Wakanda. I don't know any other place that's like a fictional land or if any other heroes came from surrounding areas of Wakanda. So that's another question that I have. Oh man. But man, imagine pulling the adamantium out of a person. Yeah, someone actually told me that Wolverine's bones are coated in adamantium. His bones aren't actually adamantium. Is that true? All right. Kira says she was born in Queens. Oh, okay. I'm from the Bronx, so we're kind of like related. Her mother was one of the tribal folks with magical potential. The mother didn't have a gift. Oh, hmm. Well, her gift was giving us Storm. I can't wait. I saw a rumor that Ryan Coogler may be set to direct an X-Men movie. If they give him Storm, we're gonna get a badass Storm. Oh my God. We'll get Black Panther 3 and X-Men. I would love that. Then her parents returned to Africa and they died, leaving her stuck under concrete. Oh my God. Which is why she has claustrophobia. Another thing I didn't know, but that makes perfect sense, obviously. Mm-mm-mm. All right, let me just move this out of the way. Keep things moving. I just want to peep that comic. So it is X-Men Annual number 9. Storm, Goddess of Thunder. Let's see what we get. Do, do, do. Come on. You could load. Oh, it was an ad. Chris says he thinks Storm met T'Challa when they were kids. Oh, that's freaking awesome. Like I would love to see that. If they, oh my God, if Ryan Coogler does Black Panther 3, oh, but we don't have that T'Challa. Well, what they could do is a flash, well, it would be a flashback anyway. We could see if he introduces Storm in Black Panther 3 and they did a flashback of that, Storm and baby T'Challa meeting. God. Mm. Shira says the artwork for the comic is amazing. So I Googled X-Men Annual number 9, Storm, Goddess of Thunder. And I think this is it. eBay, uncannyxmen.net. Doesn't Marvel have their own thing? Where is it? Let's check here. Come on. Okay, this I think is it. There's no place like home. Oh, it's not for sale though. I kind of want the physical. Shit. All right, let's see. What is eBay looking like? 20 bucks. X-Men. The Saga of Storm, Goddess of Thunder. Oh. All right. Bozeman's death hit so hard. I remember it being a Friday evening. Yeah, man. What makes it harder for everyone, I think, is how private it was. And again, we're not entitled to people's personal lives. But when you know someone isn't well, and you're like, all right, we know eventually something's going to happen, and you're like, you cherish your last moments with them, or like someone like him, his last movies, and he did a good job of just keeping it to him and his family. That it just like it rocked everybody. Ooh, Marvel should have an app you could download on your phone. Isn't it called like Marvel Unlimited or something? Yeah, I see it here. I could actually. Oh yeah, sorry. I think you could see it now. I just put it up. This is eBay though, but I mean, I like digital stuff. Like if I was a comic book reader and I read a lot of them, I'd for sure do digital. But if I like I want this, I think I would want to buy the physical. Um, Shira said it's like when Anton Yelchin from Star Trek died. His death hit me very hard. Oh, that was the kid who played Spock, was it? That was 2009? Oh my goodness, man. 2009. I don't know where the time has gone, but yeah, this that I have on the screen, I'm guessing this is the version, right? The Saga of Storm, Goddess of Thunder. She looks so good. Look at that armor. That's cool. Oh my God. Her helmet has a mohawk. Wait a second. I know this is like 80s anime drawing and it's similar color, but that looks like her helmet has room for her mohawk. It's awesome. Unless it's like split and her mohawk is out, but you can't really tell in the animation. But either way, that's amazing. So yeah, I'll have to look into trying to buy this. All right, I could hide this now. Don't need that. Chris says such a great story, and the New Mutants were kidnapped with her, so you see Roberto da Costa there too. Oh, that's actually like I've recognized the name DaCosta. Is there like another like is his father? I know his family is rich, but where would I have heard that name from? Like I don't know Roberto prior to this show. I actually thought he might have been a new character for the X-Men animated series. I wasn't sure, but now you're telling me he is an older character, but I don't know if I know DaCosta from comics. I know there's is there someone a real person Nia DaCosta? Oh, I'm an idiot. It's a real person. She directed the Marvels. Every time they said the word DaCosta, I was like, I know this name. Yeah, Jubilee. That reminded me when they were fighting of Black Widow and Hawkeye when, they had to fight each other, but they really didn't want to. And Wanda was like, nope, yoink. That was crazy. Oh, man, oh, man. What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, Him going with Magneto and Rogue going, I mean, Rogue been through it. You know, she was down with, um, Professor X and what he wanted to do when he quote unquote died and left everything to Magneto. But she was there fighting. The man she cared about the most sacrificed himself for them. All those mutants died. The whole island almost. Magneto almost died. He was captured and tortured. Like she has, been through enough. Like we tried it your way and it's not working. So we're gonna have to try it a different way. Kira said yes, and neither Jubilee or Bobby held back in that fight, and Rogue was giving Wolverine a smack. Rogue was whooping his ass. Um, yeah, she's lost so much just in this freaking 9 episodes. I can't imagine her history, but yeah, I totally understand why they would do that. You know, you try. It's not like you're saying we're bad guys. This is how we should do it. It's basically we tried. Like we tried. It's not working. We help the humans. They hate us anyway. Like let's try something different. Let's see. Roberto would be the type to follow Magneto. He's a sweetheart Romeo, but he's very business oriented in the comics and knows a losing battle. In this show, he's obviously 17 or 18 years old. In the comics, does he age or is he always like portrayed as a teenager? Because I'm assuming in all the years that we have Jubilee, like she's never in like the main comic series 30 years old. Isn't she like always younger? Chris said, yeah, I wanted to like that New Mutants movie, but they put out a few years ago, but they didn't portray them well. Was he in that? I don't even know. I don't know who those characters are. So were any of the characters in New Mutants, and I haven't seen it yet, but I actually do want to watch it. Are any of them in the animated series? Where else was I going? Oh, that scene with Jean Grey and Storm was beautiful. They're like when the X-Men talk about family as a whole, like the X-Men, we're a family, like we stick together. They are the craziest family. They're all over the place as a family. But not Jubilee, sorry, Jean Grey and Storm, they're a family. Like they, and I don't know, they seem like I don't know if they're just sisters or if they're romantically involved. It could be either. I'm not sure. It works either way, but they definitely have each other's back. And it was so nice to see Jean Grey's reaction when Storm came back. She was so happy. She freaking flew over to her. Kira says New Mutants is entertaining, just not comic accurate. Bobby's as a Colossus sister magic. Bobby's wait, Bobby's is Colossus's sis. I'm confused. Bobby's I'm not sure what that one was supposed to say, Kira, unless I'm just reading it wrong. I'm like, I'm just giving myself an aneurysm. I think it's also because on my screen it's kind of covered with a heart. So, um, yeah. Um, oh, sorry. Bobby is in it. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Oh, I gotta send the text real quick. But I could do two things at once. One, I just gotta give someone credentials to my Hulu. And the password is. All right. All right. Bobby is in it as well as Colossus's kid sister Magic. Does she look like Colossus, like metal? I don't think so because I've seen the trailer and the cast, and I think none of them are metal or look like that. So I'm sure there's a story there. Chris says, I really have no idea how they're going to end the season. I was thinking about that too. We have one episode left. So if it's 20 minutes, well, 28 minutes like these episodes are, almost a half an hour, can they realistically end this entire conflict in 28 minutes? Like they've gone 9 episodes. They can't even get close to what's his name? Oh my god, I forgot his name. The guy who talks to Sentinels. Oops, I'm going crazy. But anyways, and then just in the last episode, like they're, oh, we got him, we defeated him. Like I can't see that happening. I feel like this season's gonna have to end on one thing getting resolved, but the bigger thing maybe um, leading into season 2. Or would I want Storm to go OP and be the hero in the last episode? Um, we could have Magneto actually being like, all right, you know, I don't believe in what you guys are doing as Charles's X-Men. I still want to do things my way, but let's just end this. And Magneto just goes OP, handles everything. But for season 2, he's back as being a villain. Or are they going to do something like huge and bring the Avengers in? Or like, I don't know, I'm just naming people like Apocalypse or Silver Surfer. I don't even know, the Fantastic Four. Like, will they just be like, we need some help? That I don't think they would do in the first season of an X-Men show. But if they branch this out into like an animated cinematic universe or like an animated universe, maybe they do a post-credit scene where we see a different faction. Chris says, oh wait, Kira says, nah, but Morph did turn into magic. The blonde girl with the sword when they fought the Goblin Queen in episode 3. Oh, I'll have to go back and check that out. I definitely wouldn't have caught that. Chris said, I really have to see Madeline's Goblin Queen costume comic version. How that thing held together was anyone's guess. So let's go here. Madeline comic Goblin Queen images. Oh my god, is it that one? All right, let me just share my screen again. So I Google this. Are we talking about this here? That is what they drew her to fight in? What? Oh my god. Shira said Emma dressed like that too. She had a costume once that all it would take would be a strong breeze and her girls would fall. Who drew this? I mean, okay. If it works, she gets shit done and she's good. But that is something. All right, so you all talking about Emma Frost, right? Emma Frost comic books. Men that drew this needed to go out. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Are we talking about this one? She's fighting in a corset, a cape, and panties. Oh, this is a variant cover, so that's not like the official costume. Whoever just designed this cover could put them in anything they want, or It's just funny to think that costume's more. Oh my God. All right. RIP to my browser history right now. Let's see. What is less than that? Um, is it, that looks like fan art. Okay. Okay. That's more. That's normal. That's the same thing. I don't think it's this, right? At least that one she has pants on. Where has this live stream gone? Um, all right, I'll take your word for it because if it's less than that, that's crazy. Believe me, a man less honorable than you. Oh shit, that's crazy. I do want to see just more X-Men, like Mystique, but I don't know if at this point in time, if she's even like with the X-Men, because doesn't she go back and forth, sort of like good and bad? Um, I feel like she would be with Magneto maybe, but she hasn't shown up, so that's kind of surprising to me. I was glad that they brought in Nightcrawler, and I guess they they needed to because he's one of the most popular. Like if I know who you are as an X-Men, then you're popular, you know. Um, but they were like quote unquote killing so many off that they needed to bring in like new people to replace the ones that were sidelined. Chris said, I'm convinced that Valerie Cooper is Mystique in disguise. Oh, she's the one who was the TV person, right? The newscaster that attacked Beast. Yeah. That would be cool because I would like to see her in there, but um yeah, hopefully. So my question, because I have tons of them, this is just a random one. In the timeline, they already talk about the Dark Phoenix. Like they've said it a few times in this episode to Jean Grey. So how long before this, I guess, even going back to like the original 90s series to now, was she a Dark Phoenix in the original series in any of those seasons? Or was it something that like took place in the past? Kier says that was Trish Tilby. She's the Beast's girlfriend. Think Chris is talking about the blonde who's the government liaison. Okay. Well, that would be dope. That would definitely be a WTF moment if in the finale she does turn out to be Mystique and she helps. But whose side do you think she would be on? And I guess it depends on where she left off in the original series because again, I know in the live action movies, she never really came off as like a legitimate, just a good guy, you know? Let's see. What else happened this episode? There was a lot that happened. Shira said, You're right. The Phoenix story was in the original series. They did a pretty good job telling a 20-issue story in 5 episodes. Oh, cool. See, I definitely want to go back and watch just a lot of episodes. A lot of episodes. So, like, a really, really good breakdown would be cool. So, I might have to search YouTube for that. But, like, portions like that, if they do like a block of the Dark Phoenix, like, I would watch those episodes. But, do any of the heroes besides X-Men show up in the original series? Like, are there ever Avengers in it or like Spider-Man? Does he ever really show up? Because I know in the world of Marvel, there's not only one thing happening. So, like, I think I asked the question, where are the Avengers? Like, why wouldn't they call them? And someone made a good point. This is the X-Men's fight. Like, this is what they're doing right now. There's probably something else happening somewhere in the world where the Avengers have to fight it. But uh, the only thing about that is the Avengers are like Earth's mightiest heroes. They don't typically do like Spider-Man stuff, like friendly, they're not the friendly neighborhood Avengers. So I feel like usually they would be fighting Avenger level threats, like world ending threats. And this one seems like it's not a world ender. It's maybe in the middle. And if there was a world ending threat happening at the same time, there would be a bigger ruckus, I feel like. But again, it's an X-Men show, so they're centered. Um, Chris said there's a video on YouTube. Just search for X-Men 90 synopsis. They cram the whole thing into an hour. I might check that. Kira said, you said video a lot there, Chris. I think I just like seeing as many characters as possible. I love that stuff because for all of you who grew up on like 90s animation or maybe earlier and definitely comic books, you have your sense of how things are supposed to be, you know? I grew up, well, not didn't grow up. I'm talking about my comic book history. I grew up on the MCU and not even like 2008 when it started. I didn't start watching or getting into comic stuff until 2014. So I was already, what was I in 2014? I was 10 years, oh, I was 34. So I was old or older in that sense where, you know, my backstory or my history is everyone shows up in everyone's thing. And then I did read a couple of comics after that, um, but I gave them away. Um, Kira said, I think the thing about comics is that the heroes are never around unless there's a need. Some could be off planet or in other dimensions. Makes sense. Chris said the Secret Wars miniseries in the 80s was the first crossover that had everyone in one comic storyline. So Secret Wars, okay, you said the 80s. That's definitely before Civil War, right? Because the Civil War comic story, didn't that happen in like the 2000s? Like it wasn't too far off from the movie, right? Damn, I can't wait till like every one of you have me so hyped for Secret Wars because I just see little tweets and like little things about what happened and things like Battle World and Doctor Doom and all this shit. Like I want that so bad. And I think the thing is everyone wants it so bad because Disney has owned the rights for the Fantastic Four and like the Fox stuff for about 6 years now. And we really have, and like Deadpool technically is going to be the first real property we get live action. I'm talking about people just, they want it. And I think that might be leading to some of the box office decline because when you started, it's like we're building a universe. This right here is what we're allowed to use. We can only use this. So when you can only use this, we want to see it. And we went to see everything. And then, oh, now we could use our A-list characters. So now everyone wants to see the A-list characters and they've been waiting and they probably are just like, I'll come back when the Fantastic Four drops. I'll come back when the mutants are here, and then I'll start watching again. That's just my thing. And also, movies go straight to like Disney Plus, so it's expensive to see a movie. A lot of people just want to stay home. Shira said Civil War was 2000, I think. Read the paperback, but it was also in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 video game. Chris, oh yes, the game PS2 was amazing. I read the Civil War comic. I bought the what the hell's it called? What's it called when they put a bunch of comics in one book? I bought that. I went to the comic book store like a week ago. I think it was the week I bought those Disney cards, and I wanted to buy. They have these three big volumes of Invincible, and I wanted to get that, but I didn't. Uh-oh, I think my live stream froze. Oh no. Shit. Can you all hear me? Oh shit. Um, oh my God. Okay, so if you can hear me, I think there's a way to pause it, but I can't find it. Crap. Um, how do I do this? Sorry, has never happened. It's funny because it paused when someone gave me a like bubble. OBS couldn't handle a like. Um, that's the question I have. If I stop it, do I have to start a new one? Oh, let me try something actually. I'm gonna try something crazy. Since you can hear me, that means the stream is still going. Let's see, one sec. I might, if this doesn't work, let's see. Oh, I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. Give it about a couple of seconds. Ah, all right. I am my own IT department. That was weird. That was so weird. I forgot what I was even talking about. I don't even remember. Oh, the Invincible. Yeah, I went. They have like a 3 volume thing, and they're pretty thick. So that's something whenever I get to something new, like I didn't know what Invincible was until the show dropped, and then I get like really into it. I want to read everything, and I want to like buy the figures. Um, but I was like, I don't really need it. And then they also had the Secret Wars one that was pretty thick too. But there's two of those, and that kind of confused me. So there's been two Secret Wars because one I guess was like the older one. I don't know. There's so many comic books out there that it just confuses me. Okay, I wish I had another Coke. Does anybody have any questions for me or like Easter eggs throughout this series or just fun facts about the X-Men or like what do you guys think is going to happen next week? Again, one episode left. There's a lot that needs to be like wrapped up, and I don't think they're going to do it. Like Solo Leveling, I don't know if you all watch Solo Leveling. I just finished season 1. They've wrapped up 0 plot points in that. So to me it seems like it's half of season 1. So maybe that's what they're gonna do here. Maybe nothing really happens. Maybe they lose. Maybe season 1 is they're on the brink of losing. Chris said Invincible is a solid show, but I read the comics and never thought they'd make a cartoon of it. The Boys and all these bloody violent shows tire me. I think I might have watched one episode of The Boys, and I don't even think it was the pilot, because my girlfriend was actually really into The Boys. She watched, I think the first 2 seasons of it, and when she was in the middle of watching it, like I watched one, and I couldn't like judge off of that. It was like one random episode, but everyone seems to love it. Kira said, well, Xavier was supposed to turn off Magneto's mind and it had a consequence, but if they do that story, don't want to ruin it for you. Yeah, I was really wondering about that, but in the beginning, like I think in the second episode of this series, or the first, I don't remember. Yeah, it had to be the second. Magneto mentioned something about his helmet that he would use it to shield Charles. Like you know, even though he loves him, like sometimes he doesn't want to like hear him. I'm like oversimplifying it, but then I read that that was like a retcon because in the original his helmet was just a helmet, but now it makes sense that they kind of gave it this extra thing because it came back here where he had the helmet on, and that's why Charles couldn't do anything. So, I mean, I think as retcons go, that's a really good one because I know in comics they just draw things that look super cool, you know. So his helmet is cool just as a helmet, but I think it's even cooler that he has that other reason for putting it on. Like if he just sometimes thinking of Charles like makes him weak or makes him reminisce about stuff and he just doesn't want to go through that, he could shut it off. Kira said the Hero Gasm episode was ridiculous. I adored Jack Quaid, and the poor fellow had to run around in his birthday suit. Yeah, I heard a lot about that one. Um, but I never, actually, that's something I never even Googled to read about. It was something that I remember when it came out, everyone was talking about it. And then I just kind of forgot about it. Um, the Magneto red suit that he's wearing in this episode, this is funny because even though, and this is how big, like when people talk about who's big, like Spider-Man, X-Men, Superman, Batman, this is how big the X-Men are. I didn't even watch the cartoon and I had that Magneto toy. That Magneto toy was dope. The helmet came off, like it was awesome. Chris says the helmet also had technology that gave Magneto other abilities, but it originally was made to block out the professor. So even in the original, because I saw somebody say it was retconned that the helmet now blocks out the professor. So it always did that. And they were just, ah, they were gaslighting me. Gaslighters. Ah, this is like school for me. Like I'm the one on video, but you all are teaching me all this stuff. This would have been a terrible, terrible video, I think, because I wanted to do a video about um, my disappointment in how they're using Storm, and then like talk about some of the cool moments. But it's a lot better with like the 4 or 5 of you to actually talk about it, because I get to now like these would be comments, but it's cooler to talk about it live. Chris said there's so many issues in the past, it's difficult to keep X-Men. I mean, yeah, like comic books, I don't know, what are they like hundreds of years old? Close to, if not that. So many stories, so many people writing stories. You can't like, you definitely can't keep a hero the exact same way for like 100 years, 75 years. You have to change things, make them fresh, make them new, give them cooler powers, take away their powers. And then over the course of it, like you kind of forget what was original. Kira said, did you ever play the X-Men arcade game with the 4 knobs? Yes. Um, I played it because it was cool. Like, I didn't play it because I was into X-Men. You know, that's just the reach that it has. Like, everyone was playing it. I didn't play it a lot. I just remember it because when that episode came on, I immediately recognized the game. Um, so, yeah, I definitely played that. Probably wasn't very good at it, but I played it. Kira says the multiplayer was much fun. I feel like they should, that's got to be on an emulator now. I should actually check. I have a modded Xbox, the original, and it has a whole bunch of arcade games on it. I should check to see if it has X-Men. Shira says, I think there was an arcade game with the Ninja Turtles. Yes, that I definitely played because I was into Ninja Turtles. I mean, the cartoon from the 80s and 90s, not like the comics that came before it. I freaking love Ninja Turtles. I used to play that in the arcade, and I think I had it for. Did I? I don't want to lie because I know I played it a lot. I did not have a Nintendo, so I must have played it at my friend's house because I had a Sega Master System. I don't think it was on that. And then I had a Genesis. I don't think it was on that either. Maybe it was. I definitely played it at my friend's house. Chris says you like X-Men Legends. 1 and 2 have emulators out to play them. I'll have to check it out. What was the last console that had an X-Men game? Was it like way back in the Genesis days, like 8-bit, 16-bit? Or did like PlayStation ever have an X-Men or Xbox? I'm not too sure. Man, if Xbox ever got like the exclusive to X-Men and uses the X as something, that would be crazy, but doubt that'll happen. Atari. What's up, Boomhauer? Shira says X-Men is a home console video game produced by Sega. Oh, what Sega Genesis? All right, then yeah, then I played it for that too. Because I do remember I played it at home. And I do remember playing it in the arcade as well. Definitely. Kira said, okay, that's an awesome name, Boomhauser. Yeah. Oh, X-Men. Oh, when Magneto said my X-Men this episode, ooh, I bet Professor X was like, "You son of a bitch." Also, another thing when when Magneto was like, "I can't wait to say these two words to you, Charles." Shut up. Like that is that's hilarious. It's just funny how someone like me has this image of Professor X as the perfect mutant, and he clearly isn't. So it's cool to actually see that. Like everything went to shit when he left, and you're like, oh, the hero's back, and everything got worse when he came back. Boom, howdy, sir. Glad to finally catch a live stream. I'm always happy when you all hop on, so thank you so much. I wish you were here to talk a little bit. In the beginning, I was like fanboying over Storm because she's my favorite character, and I think what am I live for 50 minutes? I think like the first 30 was dedicated to Storm. It's crazy. But yeah, Magneto telling him to shut up was crazy. I had the picture too, because I did a screenshot, I deleted already, of that second Magneto pulling the adamantium from Wolverine. Shit. But, um, so another question for everyone on here. Um, oh, let me read Shearer's because I saw Black Leather. I'm so happy that I watched the movies to get the joke. Like if I didn't watch them, I would have been the biggest square. Like not like what are they talking about? Yeah, that was perfect. I was gonna say no, I forgot the question. Oh, the question was about Wolverine getting the adamantium taken out of him. I read on Twitter something about like a Neanderthal Wolverine. What is that all about? That's a good question. Oh, okay. Chris says there was a storyline in the comics where Storm was thought to have been killed, but Orphan Maker Nanny de-aged her to a teenager, but she could still kind of use her powers. This is like some crazy, crazy stuff. They have so much to pull from the comics. Even though we've had 25 years of X-Men live action, they like really didn't use that many stories. It seems like there's so many like that's crazy. I mean, you can't I don't want that to happen when we first meet Storm, but dude, imagine I don't know, Storm is in like Black Panther 3 or something and then maybe before she gets her own movie cuz Storm again fanboy Storm when she's introduced, she gets her own movie. But before that, that would be a cool storyline. Like, just oh my god, she's a teenager now. That's crazy. Uh, Kira says, yeah, without that adamantium in the system, his healing system mutation wasn't slowed down, so he kind of lost his nose and turned into a barrel. Oh my god. See, this is like the creativity that I don't have. Like, if someone told me, Steve, you know Wolverine? Yeah, we're gonna take out his adamantium. What should we do with him? I would be like, I don't know, just keep him the same, just without metal. And then people more creative than me comes up with this stuff like not only make him a Neanderthal, but he loses his nose. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, sure. It's a good point. Imagine having metal in your body at all times. It's like, oh my God. I mean, I'm glad someone told me that his bones are only coated in it because if they ever did like a retcon for the movies and they said that his bones were metal and they pulled this like it was R-rated and Magneto ripped his skeleton out, oh my God. I mean, oh, again it froze. Every time someone likes it, it freezes. Ah, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. I gotta get it back. Gotta get it back. All right, so for some reason, the culprit is when someone likes, thumbs up a post in the chat, my camera freezes. So what I might have to do is stop using my Sony camera and just put up my regular webcam because it's got to be because of this. It's so crazy. Have I seen the first Wolverine film? That's where the government bonded the metal to his body. I remember the one, and I don't have a great memory because I didn't rewatch it, where there's the thing that he's in. Oh, this is embarrassing. And there's water in it. And then he like goes, ah, that one. I think that was a pretty bad impression, but that's what I remember from it. He's like ripping all the stuff off. Like I sort of remember when they were showing the screens of the stuff going in him, and then I think his bones were changing or something. All right, yeah, I saw that. I don't remember that it was just bonded. Um, so is it the same with X-23? Is hers bonded too when they were trying to like make another Wolverine? And are there any like clones or like X's that kind of went wrong that actually have full metal bones, I guess? But I kind of feel like if your bones are metal, well, technically you wouldn't be an android because you'd still have meat. All right, I just remember a naked Hugh Jackman. What was the one that I saw in the theater? Shoot. Oh, X-Men Origins Wolverine. That was the one with the shitty Deadpool. Of course, that's the one that I see in the theater. But I did like, what's his name as Sabretooth? Liev Schreiber, I think. Schreiber? He was good. That was really cool. Let's see, did I miss any posts? I don't think so. Um, hmm. It was kind of shitty that Roberto's parents basically disowned him. They were like, nah, you gotta go. That was heartbreaking. Humans. Shira says there's a villain called Cyber that has metal bonding to him. I think it's adamantium. It's like a Terminator. Oh man. I wonder if they're gonna do any kind of crossover with this cartoon, this show, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Like we've established in Multiverse of Madness that some multiverses are animated, so it would be kind of cool if they showed up somehow. I don't know. Kira said in the comics, Roberto's father is a businessman who can't be bothered to care about him, and the mother is the one who loves him unconditionally. So that sounds like they changed it a little bit because she was like not really having it. And it's funny because I was thinking about it when they got taken away, Jubilee and Roberto, that she was like, "Oh, you know," and I'm paraphrasing, like you're a mutant, like you got to go. But when the humans who were turned into robots showed up, she was cool. Like technically, they're mutants. They're not X-Men mutants, but they were humans who were changed into living sentinels. So they weren't humans anymore. They were technically mutants. And the mom was like, you could go with them. They're cool because they were normal before. Come on, mom. Chris said, plus the rest of the New Mutants are incredible. DC put out Young Justice. I wish Marvel would take the New Mutants to that direction. Like, as a book, I feel like, because I heard that New Mutants was supposed to be rated R, and now that we're getting Deadpool and Wolverine rated R, maybe they could go back to that and do a sequel. Like, would you guys mind the same cast? I know a lot of times movies aren't great or people don't like movies, but the cast was like really good, or they were, they cast the characters perfectly. So if they had to do New Mutants again and reboot it, would you want to see the same characters? And are the New Mutants just that group? Or if you're young, are you then a New Mutant? Sure says, technically I'd say they're cybernetics, so humans allowing sentinel technology doesn't make the mutants as much as altered. Oh, I mean, I wasn't saying like, I couldn't think of a better word, to be honest, but they weren't humans. Like, people don't like mutants because they're different, basically. And yes, because they have powers and they don't trust them with their powers. But they're basically like, you're not like me, I don't like you. And then the human sentinels is, you were like me, but now you're like pretty much evil, but because you're not attacking me and you're like the friend, no, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So it's like, since you're not attacking me, you're cool. Shearer says Fantastic Four, Captain America, Hulk, and Spider Man are considered altered humans because they start off human, then mutate with spider bites, cosmic rays, and gamma radiation. Oh, yeah, because mutants are always mutants. It just takes a while for their gene to kick in, right? So even though you might not have powers yet, you're a mutant. You just don't know what they are. Yeah, and like you said, Spider Man and Hulk are not that. Something happens to give them powers. And then there are Inhumans, which again are similar because they're always Inhumans, but they have to go through a Terrigenesis to unlock something they already have. But is it true that they might not um, have powers? Because in the TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., when what's her name? Quake went through Terrigenesis, she got her powers, but the other girl went through Terrigenesis and died, right? Um, it is confusing. And I wasn't like saying anything bad to you, Shira, obviously. But yeah, we got it. Chris said, one mutant, Franklin Richards, son of Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman, actually had powers as a baby. Franklin, that's not Kang, right? That's a different one. Because Kang is like a future Richards, but not Franklin, right? I don't know. There's so much going on that I'm trying to like read and understand for like when Avengers the new ones come out and Secret Wars comes out, like Iron Lad and stuff like that, like all these little things. It's just a lot. It was simpler times when the MCU first started. You know, there was like five characters you really had to know about. Now the catalog is open. Man, oh man. What time is it? Oh, it's only like 7:40. Kang is a relative of the Richards family, so you're right. There's just so many wrinkles. I was just gonna say all like the time travel people, relatives and stuff is confusing. But speaking of time travel, this is another question that I had in this episode. Um, in the middle of the episode, Beast was like, "We can't. There's no technology now to like defeat these Sentinels or something like that." He said it would be, I don't know what he said, like 100 years, like to get this technology, it would be 100 years or something like that. But wouldn't Cable be able to time travel and get the technology and bring it back? But then that Cable wouldn't have done that, right? Because Mr. Sinister was controlling that Cable, because that one is probably a clone. Like the Madeline character was a clone, and he was just hiding it until the end when you saw the diamond on his forehead, right? I don't know. I know I'm confusing. Sheer said, I wish they acknowledge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I do too, because I really, really loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And it's not even hard to do it. Just put it on a different Earth. Like, okay, it doesn't have to be in our universe right now. There's so many ways to do it. I have a feeling they're not doing it because they're going to use them. They don't want to like, well, I don't want to say this like I know what they're doing, but I would imagine they want to use them and they don't want to pigeonhole them into saying, oh, it's canon, and everyone's like, yay, where does it go? Rather than, oh, we're going to show you how it's canon. That's what I hope. Kira said Cable might be able to do that, but I guess Mr. Sinister was able to control him as a baby. Oh, so that is another good question, and we haven't figured it out. Like, he was going to tell, what's her name? Oh my God. Jean Grey exactly when he switched her. I remember he said that, like, don't you want to know when you switched? Um, so I guess maybe we'll find out exactly when he switched Cable. Like, when did he get to him? Did he get to Cable as a baby? Like when he was with before he went to the future? Hopefully we find out. Chris said, I miss those characters too. I had such a crush on Daisy Quake and I love Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons, not them, but the writers gave me so much heartburn. Like there are some shows where there's like it's not even a ship. It's just like a couple that are great together. And all you want is for them to be happy. And the writers don't let them be happy. It pisses me off. I hate that. All I wanted was for Fitzsimmons to like have their happily ever after. And we have to wait literally till the last episode to get that? Ugh. Chris said Fitzsimmons is one couple I'd have no issue getting in the middle of, if you know what I mean. Yeah, they were good. That was perfect casting. Like they were good. Especially like that guy, I mean they're both great actors, but man, I don't remember his real name, but Fitz, when they did that whole Hydra season or the half season and he was like the bad Fitz, oh my God, he was good. Every time Fitz and Gemma had things go their way, every single time they never got it. Never. It was so disappointing. I'm trying to think. There's another show that I watch. Because I used to say it a lot, like, why can't they be happy? What show is it? Oh my God. It might have been Atlanta with Ern and Vanessa. Since I was like, just let them be happy. Like they're so good together. They don't have to end up like together. I think they do eventually end up back together, but I just wanted them to at least be friends because they had such a great relationship with their daughter and stuff. But yeah, that was a good show, man. They had some really cool characters. Um, that had a really good twist with what's his name? It's been so long, I don't remember the characters' names. Agents of Shield characters. Um, Grant Ward. Like they've really made you love him, and then they're like, nah, he's Hydra. Like that was good. That was so good. And they added some cool one like Yo-Yo. I loved Yo-Yo. Like that's a cool character. Another take on a speedster where it has to like the breath like she can only go as far as a breath. Like that's dope. I want to see her again. Everyone, freaking everyone. The guy that Ian DeCast, yes, that's his name. Was in a movie with James McAvoy called Filth, and you'll never look at those actors. All right, let me go to the Googs. Filth movie. This movie came out 2013. Wow. James McAvoy. Pretty good. What is the synopsis on this one? Psychological black comedy crime thriller written based on a novel. Scottish film. Okay. So let's see, starring James McAvoy, Jamie Bell, Joanne Froggatt, Amodin Poots, Eddie Marsan, Jim Broad. Damn, they didn't even put him in the. How do they leave him off that list? Oh, we got to go to the main cast. Where is he? Ian Sticker as Aki. All right. Kira said Brett Dalton, who played Ward, was in this cute little Christian film where he's a down and out actor, and I guess he needed the money, but that. Like everyone in that show, to be honest, and if you want to call it rose colored glasses or just like, just a show that you like, I don't think there were any bad actors. Obviously, not everyone could be a movie star, like a star that's going to lead movies, but there was no one in that show that shouldn't be having a career right now, like a good career. They were all so good. and I just want to go through it again. Like Clark Gray obviously is in a lot. Ming Na Wen in a lot. Chloe Bennett is. I know she was supposed to do Powerpuff Girls. That got canceled. I think she was in a movie that took place in the 80s, like 3 or 4 years ago. But how is she not in anything? And she's everyone is a good actor. I know we all know how Hollywood works. She like fits the Hollywood, like a generally beautiful woman who can act, usually unfairly or not, they get a lot of roles. But she is just a good actor, and I don't see her in anything. It's crazy. Conventionally beautiful is what I meant to say. Like obviously she's pretty. She can act. It's not like she's pretty and she can't. I gotta figure this thing out. I really gotta figure out why the likes are freezing my camera. But I don't see anybody new joining, so I think you guys are trolling me. Um, what was I gonna say? Chris said, I can't believe that Chloe Bennett was dating one of the. Oh yeah, that was. I know. Wait, Jake. Logan is the one who rests. No, Logan is the older one. Jake is the one who wrestles now. He's the one who kind of turned his life around when it comes to like. I don't know. I don't follow them. I don't know. I only hear. So apparently they weren't great people, but Jake is the one who like is okay now. Something like that. But yeah, I don't understand how she's not in more, how Brett Dalton's not in more, Elizabeth Henstridge, Henry Simmons, he was friggin' good. Natalie Cordova Buckley was really good. Now I just have it up, so I'm just going through it real quick. Um, damn, the pictures aren't showing up. Let's go back here. Lance. Oh my God. The whole thing with Lance and Bobby Morse supposed to get their own show, and that would have been good. Nick Blood and Adrian Palicki, so good. Luke Mitchell as Lincoln. I know he was in Blind Spot. I watched that. That was so good, and he's been in some more stuff. John Hannah. I mean, he's older. He was from The Mummy, I believe. Jeff Ward as Deke Shaw. He was pretty good. Like everyone was really good. Ruth Nega as Raina. I've seen her and stuff. Um, I know Paxton died. He was older. Um, who else? Oh, Patton Oswalt playing all the brothers was beautiful. Sorry, I'm just going through this list, but everyone was good. The Orville, yeah, everyone said that's pretty funny. I might start to watch that. Those who write Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. off really never watched it. I mean, to me, it was good. I don't typically watch stuff that I don't enjoy. Like, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't watch it all just to complain about it. To me, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. it was a show, and there are very few shows. Like, there are a lot of shows that are just real, like, great, but not many are. I would say no show is perfect from the beginning. Like, even Breaking Bad, well, no, sorry. I think Breaking Bad was perfect from the beginning. I love Breaking Bad. Sorry. What's another one? Like Parks and Recreation, one of my favorite shows. The first season was fine, but you make adjustments and it was brilliant. Um, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to me was never bad, but it did, to me, it got better every season. It was just a show that never got worse, and to me, it never stagnated. So if someone watched the first season and they didn't like it and they never watched it again, I feel like they missed out because it just kept getting better. It was really good. The stories that they told, especially that Ghost Rider half a season, That was so good. And again, the Hydra portion was good. Like to me, everything was good. It was so much fun. Parks and Rec was a show they almost gave up on. Bought the first season on DVD, and season 2 was incredible and kept me glued. Yeah, the first season was just one of those things where they tried, you try things, and some things don't work. Like even I'm in the middle of Community right now, and I don't want to say like Jeff was a bad character, meaning like Leslie Knope was written as an idiot, basically like Michael Scott, and it didn't work. And they changed it. They still made her silly, but it worked. Jeff was just like overly, I did not like him. And, it took that one actually only took like half a season to kind of get him in a better place where he was still kind of a jerk, but a little better. And then, like, every character on that show to me is perfect now from literally season 2 on. Perfect. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Jake Peralta was, I think, a little over the top when it started. A couple episodes go by, they rewrite them. Like, they perfect it, and then they hit the ground running. And now Brooklyn Nine-Nine is like a perfect show. Like, that cast to me was like 99% perfect. It was just they needed to tweak Jake a little bit, and they did, and it's great. Shearer said, and that was the show that had Star-Lord. Yeah, that was with Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt was hilarious in Parks and Rec. I mean, everybody was pretty much. Season 1 to me would have been a lot better if it had Leslie Knope's personality from season 2, and if they gave Retta more airtime. Because I didn't know who Retta was in season 1. She didn't get a lot of lines, but oh my God, she is so funny. Shearer said, Ben is amazing. I can't believe that Adam Scott ended up. Adam Scott is good. And then when everyone says Adam Scott, it reminds me of, the Apple Plus show. Oh, come on. I have such a bad memory. It's one of my favorite shows. But they just finished filming, and I can't wait till it comes back. Boomhauser says, have you tried the 2000 reboot of Battlestar Galactica? I literally saw someone post about Battlestar Galactica yesterday, and I was like, I want to check it out. But if you're saying there's a reboot, then which one is better? Chris says BSG is another best of science fiction things they did in that remake. So is the remake the one that I should watch, or should I watch the original? And let me go to Google again. Battlestar Galactica. So it says 2004. Who's in this? Who do we get? Oh, Katie Sackhoff's in it. Edward James Olmos. Oh, he was in S.H.I.E.L.D. too. Great. Who else do I know in this? I don't recognize anybody else. Just Katie Sackhoff and Edward James Olmos. Definitely the reboot. All right, so that's the one with Edward James Olmos and Katie Sackhoff. I don't really recognize anybody else. Huh. Scrolling down the cast list. Oh, I think everyone remembers him from Selena. The president is the girl from Dances with Wolves. I am old enough to have seen Dances with Wolves in the theater because my brother took me when I was a kid. But I was young enough where I don't remember shit. I don't remember. Chris says it's so good it'll make you rethink if you're, damn, this little heart is getting in the way. If you're a Cylon or not. Let me see. Let me just go back real fast. We got, it started in 2004. How many seasons do we got here? Let's go. Oh, it's only 4 seasons plus a mini series. So the mini series was first, according to this. So there was a 2-episode mini series, then season 1, 2, and 3, and then something called Razor, then season 4, then The Plan. So, what is Razor and The Plan? Let's see. I don't know. What does it say? This is interesting. So here's something. I'm going through the seasons and they have like season number, episode number, title, who directed it, who wrote it, all the normal stuff. But then there's a thing that says survivor count. And every episode has a survivor count. And that's probably a spoiler, so I'm clicking off it. Where are we? Main cast, supporting cast. Main cast: Edward James Olmos, Mary McDonnell, Katie Sackhoff, Jamie Bambar, James Callis, Trisha Helfer, Grace Park. Well, she plays 3 people. Kira said, Dancing with Wolves made me cry. I love Mary McDonnell. She was also good in Donnie Darko. Let me click on hers. See, I recognize her face. So, yeah, Mary McDonnell I recognize. She's giving me like a NCIS or something. Like, was she in one of those types of TV shows? Let's go look. Oh no, The Fall of the House of Usher. I just watched that like a few months ago. Oh, but she was in Major Crimes, and that I do remember her from that. So I was right. Okay. Razor and the other are mini stories. Recommended watching it in release order. Battlestar Galactica was on Sci-Fi before it became Sci-Fi. Different spelling. Started with the miniseries. Razor was a TV movie set during the series, plus some webisodes. All right. So what I need to do now, and I know it's been over an, oh my God, it's an hour and 20. I'm going to hop off soon. But while I have you on, I'm going to go to where I find my TV shows to download. I won't say where. Telegram. And let's see if it's in this database. Go to B. Oh, shit. It's here. Hopefully this is, it's got to be. Yeah. And I will save this. And I will mute this group. So I have all the episodes I need right here. Beautiful. What do they have it in? Hopefully it's in 720. Because Last Man on Earth is like less than that. It's hard watching it. All right. Boomhauser said, damn, I'd forgotten about Donnie Darko. I don't think I've seen that either. There's so many movies I got to watch, but I went a little bit over the time that I'm tired. It's not even late. It's only 8 o'clock, but I wanted to go for a walk. It's a little dark, but I might still be able to. Some of you might be on the East Coast, so it would be like 11 o'clock. Oh, this was fun. So what I might do, X-Men is ending next week. And I finished Solo Leveling, so that's 2 shows that are going to drop off that I need to watch. I do want like to add current shows because I'm doing like 3 that aren't even on the air anymore. So maybe I'll watch and react to the first episode and I'll post it. And like that, I'll do as I can. And obviously, if people watch them, I'll keep doing it because, again, a channel as small as mine, if no one watches it, like it's a lot of time I put into these episodes and shows that I can't do it if no one watches it. So yeah, maybe I'll do that. Chris said Jake Gyllenhaal was younger in Donnie Darko, and that Roadhouse remake puts me in. Oh my God. Let me just see Donnie Darko. Who's in this movie? Jake Gyllenhaal, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Drew Barrymore, Seth Rogen, Jenna Malone, Patrick Swayze? Mary McDonnell? Damn. I might have to watch that too. Put it on the list of first time watching. Boomhouse said, I hate to admit it, but I kind of like the reboot. Oh, of Roadhouse. I'll have to watch it. And that's another movie I recently watched. I watched Roadhouse, I don't know, 6 months ago. It was wild. It was hilarious. The big thing about Roadhouse to me was, and it's kind of, I don't know if that was 80s, but it definitely was early 90s, right? But it's kind of like with music back then. And I'm not like saying this to shame someone. I'm saying this because it's kind of true. Like Phil Collins, like is a great singer, a great performer, not hot. That's that what someone would consider hot, right? But in the 80s and 90s, like you could be a star. Could Phil Collins be a star now if he was like the same guy, just like 20 years old? I don't know. This just leads me to say the villain in that movie was so like he didn't even come across as a villain. It was like so 80s. Like nowadays, villains are like huge guys, or like in um, Die Hard, like Alan Rickman's character. The villain in Roadhouse was like this little nerd. Like to me, it was like a little Herbie guy. It was just funny. It was funny. Chris said, "Oh, geez, I'm an idiot. Patrick Swayze ties in with Donnie Darko since he was also in it. Blame cocaine." Oh my god, guys, I have to. I got some stuff that I need to do. I really appreciate that you guys hopped on. What time did I start this at? 6:30. So is 6:30 during the week, like 6:30, a good time for everyone? Because like I always say, I don't need 1,000 people on my live streams, but I want to go live like when you guys are on. I know if you're free, you're gonna come on and talk. So like I want to cater it around you, and if I happen to grow and more people show up, that's fine. But like I want you guys there in the beginning. So yeah. Shira said, "This was fun. Thank you for having the stream today. It's always fun when you guys come on. At least this one was a little bit more organized. Usually I have no idea what I'm going to talk about, but today I knew I wanted to talk about X-Men, and we ended at Patrick Swayze. So no one would believe you if, like, no one would believe that if they told you, oh, we started talking about X-Men and Storm for 30 minutes and we ended the conversation on Patrick Swayze." Kira said, "It depends on my schedule, but we'll try to be here for the next one." Um, I really appreciate it. Like I want to try just so hard to, be live when you guys are available. So it's fun like this. Oh man. Well, thank you again for hopping on, even though I went an hour and a half and through all my technical difficulties. I have to figure out why that was happening. Thanks, Boomhauer. But what I ask from you right now, since I'm about to log off, can someone like something, like thumbs up anybody's comment? Because I want to see if it freezes again, and if it does, I'll just immediately turn it off. But that was like a really weird glitch because that's never happened before. Chris said, "Now I have the song Cocaine in my head." Oh my god. So yeah, if someone would just, so I saw a heart, nothing happened, but the 3 times it froze were thumbs ups. There it is. That's so weird. That is weird. Only the thumbs up freezes it. I don't get it. So we figured out the culprit. The culprit was only the thumbs up. I don't know. I'll have to go to YouTube and ask them why that happens. But again, thank you all. And I promise you all, I will be watching Battlestar Galactica. I actually have a lot of time tomorrow. Um, my girlfriend is traveling for work, and like I have things to do, but I obviously have a little bit more time to watch shows. So maybe, I don't know, it's 8 o'clock. Maybe tonight I watch the pilot of Battlestar Galactica, or maybe I watch it tomorrow. But I will react to it, and hopefully you all watch it when I post it. So that's it. Thanks, guys. I will see you when I see you. Probably, hopefully tomorrow on Battlestar Galactica.